Yeah. So I grew up in a family, played lots of different sports, and I played baseball for a long time. And when I was in high school, I suffered this really serious baseball injury where I was hit in the face with a baseball bat. And it was an accident. A classmate of mine took a swing and kind of bat came out of his hands and rotated through the air and struck me right between the eyes. Broke my nose, shattered both eye sockets, broke the bone behind my nose, kind of deeper inside your skull. I was air carried to the hospital and I was in a medically induced coma overnight. And then the next day, my vitals had kind of stabilized to the point where they could release me from the coma. And it was a really long road back. I couldn't drive a car for the next 9 months. When I went to my first physical therapy session, I was practicing basic motor patterns like walking in a straight line, had double vision for weeks. So it took a while. And all I wanted, I was a teenager, I was 16, 17 years old. All I wanted was to get back to being this normal, young, healthy kid before, be able to drive a car and go to baseball and play and whatever. But it was a time in my life when I was forced to start small. I
Mm.
had to just focus on what can I do at this physical therapy session? Am I making any progress from today? Yeah, the last session to this one. If I can't do anything physically, couldn't play baseball for about a year, then, can I study and do well on this test or try to find some small win, some small improvement that I can make? And all the things that we're about to talk about today, I would never have said it that way then. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't have said, "Oh, I'm just trying to get 1% better." Like I didn't have a language for it. But it was an experience that forced me to realize how small actions can be and still be meaningful,
Yes.
and that progress can take a long arc. I barely played baseball in high school. After the injury, I basically missed the whole next year. I went to college. First year, I came off the bench. Second season, I was a starter. Third season, I was team captain. Then fourth year, I was an academic All-American. And that's like a 5 or 6 year arc from that stuff. And I never played professionally, but I look back on that and I feel like I was able to maximize my potential.
Mm.
And, we all have things in life that we don't ask for. And this was one for me. It was one of the first things I said when I woke up the next day was I never asked for this. But you have to get out of that self-pity loop. It just does not serve you. A bad attitude and self-pity makes every problem harder. And so you're just layering on another challenge to the already challenging situation. And so instead, I tried to be as positive as I could about it, and try to find things to improve each day. And again, it took 5 or 6 years, but yeah. So I grew up in a family, played lots of different sports, and I played baseball for a long time. And when I was in high school, I suffered this really serious baseball injury where I was hit in the face with a baseball bat. And it was an accident. A classmate of mine took a swing and kind of bat came out of his hands and rotated through the air and struck me right between the eyes. Broke my nose, shattered both eye sockets.